All right, hopefully this is working. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday live stream. I'm Shane Olson, not... I keep getting the title mixed up with Ryan's, but this is where we left off last week with this goat from the awesome Mark's cartoon art, Mark Christensen. So let me know if you can hear me. Hey, what's up, Mark? All right, sweet. So, hey, Neil. Welcome, welcome. All right. So, between sessions, I took a little bit of time just to start messing around with his muzzle. So you can kind of see, I really love this frown. He's just sad. So, and my voice is a little hoarse today for some reason. But I remembered my water this time. So hopefully we're good. Okay, so I just wanted to continue on with messing with this. I still feel like this whole muzzle is too low. Should I take the noise gate off? That'll kind of mess up my view and stuff if I try and do that right now. I'm not at home right now, so that's why I just kind of have to deal with what I have to work with. Okay, I want to kind of round this out a little more. Oh. I do. Sitting on my pillow. How many I don't know. It's a sculpt, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it looks like this. It's crazy. I'm not. So it's like 134,000 points. Okay. But the real answer to that is when you're doing digital sculpting, you shouldn't care about polygon counts. That's the beauty of ZBrush. It'll handle a lot. So you only have to worry about that at the end. I think the end of October is when I'll be back. Hey, Oscar. Hey, is my title correct? Cool. Yeah, it's constantly changing as I sculpt it. Right? Like it's making more triangles while I'm working. I really want to pull this peak out. See here? My fans are going crazy. Not my sculpting fans, but my fan in my computer. Moving this stuff out. A weird looking mouth, but it'll work. Okay, so and I'm going to keep his eyelids separate because I like them like that. I think his eyes could be a little deeper, but I think I'm going to keep them just how they are. And let's shrink these ears down a little bit. I feel like they're a little too longish. Local symmetry. There we go. Okay, now this is going to be like, I'm going to be doing a lot of hair. Of course, free or cheap, it's neither. The Restream bot is only for Pixologic announcements. Okay. Gonna fill this area with a little bit more density. And then I'm trying to decide if I think I want to make and just lay each one of these hairs out one by one. That's going to take a while, but I feel like that's the best result you can get. I was going to do snake hook and try and pull these things out, but that's just going to be a nightmare. So another thing I could do is like a fiber mesh solution. Might be able to do that, but or I can just lay them out and then combine them all together. Yeah, let me try one single hair and see how it looks. Hey, what's up, Harry? Oops. I know, okay. How's everybody doing today? You guys good? And if you do want to find out more about the course, just head on over to 3dcharacterworkshop.com and you'll find out all of the information you need to know. Oh, you did? Awesome. I didn't know you streamed. That's cool. Hey, what's up, Ian? How you doing, man? I was worried that my connection wouldn't cut it today. My connection was being not so good. And I thought it was, well, partially I thought I was testing it with Facebook and I didn't realize Facebook was down. But Facebook and Instagram have been down this morning, which is crazy. But yeah, they've been, but I think it's been working. 31 days of pumpkins, man, that's a lot to take on. Don't get yourself burnt out. That was my advice to my students. Because as good as it is to practice sculpting every day, it also burnout's a real thing. And you don't want to burn yourself out. I used to do these lunch crunches. And I wanted to do one every single day and got really, burnout's real. Thanks, Ian. I try. Feel great. Turn this down. I'm a CG engineer and I love digital sculpting. Do you think I'll get better if I practice sculpting? Yeah, you should practice sculpting every single day if you want to get better. It's like learning how to play an instrument, right? That's how you get better, is you practice your scales, you practice your chords, all that kind of stuff. And that's how you get to be a better musician. Same with sculpting. You gotta do it. But when I say burnout, I mean, if you're trying to do a full character every single day and you're just rushing through it, you're not really practicing with intent. you're practicing just to get it done, you know? And I don't know how much you would learn that way. But it's, you know, it's up to you. If you think if it's helping you learn, then by all means do it. Hey, Lewis. Yes, I have lost weight. I went on a whole food plant-based diet, and I love it. That essentially just means it's a different way of saying vegan, essentially. I feel like I'm 20 years old again. Yeah, sure. Hey, Battle Bears, how's it going? Sorry, this might take a while. I want to try. You know what? Just for the sake of the stream, I want to try. I want to try to do a fiber mesh version just for funsies. I always like to try stuff on this stream. So that's essentially how I would do the fur all along here, and the tail, and all along the bottom of the body, and even these little fur fiber things up here, and then merge them all together and do the thing. So yeah, Lewis, that's a common misconception, because if you're going to eat salad all day, you're never going to get full, right? Because it's all about calorie density. You need to do, if you're really interested in it, I would look up the McDougall starch solution, and you need starches to satiate your hunger, which is potatoes, beans, rice, grains. That's the essentials. That's what, like, human civilization was built on, you know. So it's not like when people think vegan, they think salads. That's part of it. Sure. But yeah, you're never going to get full on a salad. You'll get tons of nutrients from a salad, and fruits, and nuts, and seeds, all those things. Yeah, you can get proteins. You get plenty. Everybody asks, where do you get your protein? And where do you think a cow gets its protein? Where do you think gorillas get their protein? That's what I say to that. Elephants, the largest mammals on the planet, don't eat meat or dairy. Calories is the way to go. You know, I don't think I would agree with you on that one. I think calorie density is the way to go, because just by eating the right calories, you will naturally satiate, and you'll naturally cut your calories that way without having to track it. Because you don't want to starve yourself. You don't want to be hungry all the time. That's no way to live. Nobody wants to live that way. Yeah, you're absolutely wrong, Lewis. Absolutely wrong. Also, check out the documentary called Game Changers. That's on Netflix. It's absolutely amazing, and it's true. All right, but I'm not here to lecture you about diet and anything like that. So yeah, if you want to know, I'm happy to answer questions, but I really don't want to, you know, get into it that much here. Okay, so basically with fur, you just want to mask it off, and then I'm also, just one more thing to add is SOS free, and that's the hard part. That means added salt, oil, and sugar. That's the most difficult part. Stay in your lane. What does the start arrow do in the Subtool panel? Next to the add sub. So basically, it manages your live Boolean operations. So basically, if you're ever doing live Boolean and you want to subtract something from something else, it will go from the top down in order, like a stack. And if you don't want something to subtract from something else, you can put kind of a breaker in there, right? And that breaker is the start arrow. You'll say, okay, Boolean, affect everything above the start arrow, and then from here down, don't affect it. That's, but I usually use folders to manage most of that, because folders will also kind of create a capsule in which the live Booleans will just interact within that capsule, that folder. And you can also have start arrows within that folder that work really well as well. So. Yeah, yeah, you guys, I could go on and on and on about diet if you want me to, but something to think about that I've been thinking about recently that I'll add really fast is Booleans are kind of useless. No, no, Booleans are extraordinary. They're amazing, especially for hard surface stuff. You can add, subtract, difference. You can make entire crazy stuff with live Boolean, and you can key your characters with them, like for 3D printing and manufacturing. You can hollow out your characters with them for 3D printing. They're incredible, and I've never seen anything like it. So, okay, what I was saying, just really quickly, was chimpanzees. They're like 99.99999% exactly the same as us, right? As far as their DNA, their digestive tract, their skull, their teeth, everything. They talk about this on the Game Changers too a little bit. And if you look at their diet, what do they eat? They eat vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, fungus. They don't eat meat. They don't eat chicken, pork, salt, added sugars, oils, none of that stuff. And guess what else they don't guess what else they don't get? They don't get cancer, diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, strokes, any of that stuff. They don't die of those things. So that's all. That's what I'm going to leave you with right there. Like the great words of Forrest Gump. That's all I got to say about that. Whew. Sorry, my voice is going out today. I don't know why. Okay, fiber mesh. Let's do this. Fiber mesh. Where are we, fiber mesh? Right. There we go. Now, sometimes I really like fiber mesh, and sometimes it gives me a headache. Let's see. Okay, so basically what I like to do is I like to load up a fiber mesh. Actually, I like to start with an existing fiber mesh. Where is one? Filters, fibers. Okay. Sorry, my screen is kind of small, so And then sometimes I'll like to choose one that already exists and then modify that. Maybe not. Well, this one's not bad, but it's like grass. What is this one again? Oh. For a fatter one. Goodness. Oh, this one's all right. I have never heard of that. What is Boolean? What is that? Okay, this isn't crazy, but we can start with this. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna change this to a white, so we can kind of see it. And that's always nice to. Oops, what happened? Bring my preview back. It's always nice to hide your mask because the mask kind of throws you off sometimes. You can go down to masking and just see this visible mask or view mask. You can just turn that off. So the mask is still there, you're just ignoring it. Okay, so go back to fiber mesh, modifiers, and let's see, coverage. He's thick. So, you know, some of the wording on some of these in fiber mesh doesn't really make too much sense. But coverage just essentially means thickness. Hey Cricket, how's it going? Okay, we've got scale tip and scale root. I'm going to set these at 0 just for a second. And I don't want the width profile to be like this. There we go. Oh, hey, what's going on, Ashley? How you doing? Yeah, I'm screwing around with a little bit of fiber mesh. Working. Yeah, I'm trying to work. Okay. This profile down here, that just means the number of sides that it has. So right now it has one side. And if you do 2, then it doesn't do much because 2-side just means it's double-sided. 3 will make it the profile a triangle. A triangle is pretty good, but 4 is like a 4-sided hair. That just means it's nice and thick and chunky. So I like, you know, how we like it chunky. And then we can add some gravity if we want. We got some rogue hairs going on down here. You were super sick yesterday. Oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry. Are you feeling better now? Come on, somewhere in between. Pull that back. Whoa, there we go. Sometimes you just got to play with this stuff until you figure it out. Sometimes I just like to start at 0 and see where it goes. Okay, and I don't know why this base, where's the base? Scale root 1. There we go. Hey, what's up, Seba? How's it going? So see how these, yeah, they're starting to get there. Colts hit different these days, yeah. Kidding. Everybody's like when they get a little sniffle, it's like what is it really now, right? Max fibers. I just want to crank this up a little, but it's like too much. 0.1, 0.07. 3, 5, maybe that. All right, now I just got to get them pointing down. I think what I need to do is rejigger my mask. Yeah, one sniffle and pull. You don't want to have a cold when you're out in public, that's for sure. You know what I need to do? I need to save this hair profile. So, because I know I'm going to use it again, right? Okay. And if you also go down here, there is, there's profile, but there's also segments. And segments just means how many times it's divided down the length. And if you add a couple more segments, it's going to make it, give it a little more interest. It looks like it's got some twist happening. I don't want the fibers to be that varied. So we're going to turn twist down. See. And then the length is a little too random for me too. Get rid of this gravity profile. There we go. What part of the sculpt are we looking at? I'm trying to make the hair around the base of his neck. If I zoom out and I unhide everything, you can see my little goat boy. And I don't know why I need to make the fibers go flow like this. Yeah, so we're doing. Thanks, Ash. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's like so bored. He's like waiting for me to get done with his hair so he can move on with his day. Oh man. Anyway, I'm trying to come up with some good, thick, chunky fiber mesh hair that is actually following gravity. There we go. Get to stick them on a mountaintop, you know it. Like a hiker goat. Oh, what? I'm not understanding how this gravity profile works. Oh, I see. Okay. Run it out. There we go. Yeah, I'm just trying to get it closer. See how these, right now I'm working on the length. See how there's some that are super long, some that are super short. I need to find where that variation is and get it closer. Let's see, there's this offset. Sometimes you just have to hunt. The color stuff. Well, I gotta find it in the length. Oh, there it is. Okay, So here's length. So you can crank this down, it'll shorten it up a little bit. The coverage, the width profile. Width profile is good. Yeah, that's like a lot of things in ZBrush. If you don't know what it does, type a number in there and it'll show you. Right? So let's see. My screen is super small, so it's hard to read. Sorry, scale the tip. Variation. Sorry, loading screen while I look at this stuff. If you guys can spot it, let me know. Because these are all at zeros, so it's all these tangents are zeros. I'm looking for density variation here. Maybe it's this one. That's what it is. Okay, found it. It's modulate by masking. I think that's what it is. Yeah, see that? Turn that off. There's still some short and some long ones. No. It's this guy. Yeah, that's it. Okay, it's this one. This is length variations. That's what I was looking at. But it's packed into this little tiny slider and I can't see what it says. All right. Oh yeah, hold control while hovering over. And yeah, so that's a great tip, Ashley. So if you guys didn't know, you can hold command or control over anything in ZBrush and it'll pop open a little a wiki window to tell you what the thing does. And so this variation thing, that's what I was looking for. So I do want some variation, like maybe 0.1, 0.5. That's looking better. I don't want it even, but I don't want that, you know, striking variations so much. And then I wonder if I can get it to go the other way. Oh, that's what I want. Okay, that's good. I was just thinking about making it a little straighter. And can you show how you did the fiber mesh look like that, not to be so thin? Oh, it's just in the profile. So change this profile to 4 and it'll make you a 4-sided hair. Okay, and if you want more sides, you have to be very, very careful with these numbers, because if you crank it all the way up, it's going to make a whole bunch of sides and it's going to destroy ZBrush. So just be super duper careful with these two numbers. This is the length separations, and this is the width profile. So 1 is a single-sided, 2 is a double-sided, 3 looks like a triangle, 4 looks like a cube as far as the profile goes. It actually looks like a diamond. So yeah, so just be super careful, because it will. Like gravity's just fighting it. Hey, from France, hello. Okay, I'm just gonna try something here. Ooh. I don't understand this gravity profile at all. This affects it less, and this affects it more. Okay. All right, well, doesn't matter. Even as it's basically the gravity's affecting the whole length of the hair, which is good. And the time spent now is worth it, because I'll just comb it later on. And I'll use the same hair profile to do the tail and all the stuff underneath, so it'll be good. I do want less gravity. Kind of sticks out a little bit. Dominican Republic, what time is it in the Dominican Republic? Welcome to the stream. Okay, I think this is good enough and I can use it. Still wish I could control that gravity just a little bit more, but okay. I am gonna do the mask. Let's save this profile. You can save hair profile. This. I'm still getting used to this Mac. I've been a Windows person my entire life. Come on, where is it? There it is. Chunky hair. Hey Max. Save this goat. Okay. Pretty much. There's honestly very little difference between my PC and these Macs. Or my Mac and my PC, they're close to the same. Masking, visibility, turn. There you go. I'm just gonna put the masking more on the bottom of this so the hairs hang down rather than sticking out to the side. I'm just gonna adjust this mask. Keystrokes barely change. There's actually only one key that changes. And that's just because it's named differently on the Mac, which is Command instead of Alt. I guess, is that true? Might be more. Because like on a PC you have Shift, Control, and Alt. And here you have Shift, Control, then you also have Option and Command. But one of them acts just like Alt. And that is Command. So same. Uh-oh. Looks like I have not enough density down here, but that's okay. I just need a mask. Okay. You know, I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed this Mac because I'm the same. I was a PC person. I still am, especially for games. And I love the raw power you can get from a PC for half the price. But for everybody says, what is it called? The how they're all interconnected, how all the Macintosh their products, they're all interconnected, the ecosystem. And I never understood what that meant until I got, my first one was, I got an iPad and I just loved it because it's got, you know, some sculpting apps, some Procreate, all those kinds of things. And the pen is amazing. So, or the pencil they call it. So I just love that thing because I can take it anywhere I want and I can art wherever I want on the road. And so I'm like, oh man, this is cool. And the headphones work really well. And so that kind of prompted me to get an iPhone. And then all of a sudden I realized how the interconnection works and what people were talking about, and how you can like airdrop a picture that you just took from your phone and just throw it over to the iPad and do whatever you want with it. Super snazzy. Could somebody tell me, is the final models which artists do in this stream available for downloading? No, because there are so many streams, it's physically impossible to redo all of them. Why would you want to just, you should be watching these streams, learning from them, and just taking what you want from them. Not, we don't do these streams for you to copy them, and you know, you're just watching artists demonstrate the power of the program. That's the reason for this stream. Each of these streamers are independent volunteer artists, so they're not going to be giving their models away. So you understand? Okay. You know, I'm still, so one sec. Yes? What's that? Oh, you can just set it right there. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Oops. Oh. Sorry, I forgot I ordered that. All right. Let's see. Let's see, what am I doing? Back to fiber mesh to see how this looks. So I still use Google. I still use it just as much. And Google, like Google Drive, works fantastic for sharing across platforms. So between my PC and my Mac, I use Google, saving all my passwords, web browsing, all of that. Google's interconnected. But for like the actual products being connected, and like I have a watch now, I'm an Apple nerd now all of a sudden, and I don't know why. Yeah. And I love it. Let's see, gravity down, so it's kind of sticking out, so I can comb it better. All right. Our comics only if an iPad gets extremely powerful in the CPU department, and then maybe, but I don't know. I don't know how much different iOS is on an iPad than it is on a MacBook or something. Okay, so when you're all done and you like what you see, you can hit accept. Boom. And then it makes a brand new subtool with all the fibers in place. And now what you can do is this is what you have. All these little fibers. And you can't, when you're working with fiber mesh, especially like this, it's really difficult to expect it to do exactly what you want, but you can get it close. So now what you can do is like put them into auto groups, so they're all in their own separate groups. That way you can start deleting the ones that you don't want to keep around, like these little rogue ones that don't belong, like these guys. And you can just kind of come through and delete them. Or you can move them around, you know, just kind of, whoops, what did I do? Hey, how's it going? Doing good, thanks. Tagging that Instagram with the direct copied sculpts from my stream sessions. I'm just hoping they learn from it. I get the exact same thing. Like when I sculpted that mushroom, somebody else is like, hey, look, I sculpted that mushroom. I'm like, why? Okay, cool. My daughter drew a little mushroom. I don't know if you were here for that one, Ashley, but my daughter drew this cute little mushroom. I could pull it up. Smiley shroom, here it is. And I modeled it for her, and I want to 3D print it. And yeah, somebody on Instagram like remodeled it and posted it. It's funny because, I mean, I feel like the biggest form of flattery is copying or whatever, right? So yeah, this is from my stream. But it's always like, and I know they're learning and I know they want to make it look good, but it always feels like it's like the stunt double, right? Like for the Avengers, you see the Avengers and then you see the stunt double, and it's not quite, you know, see, if you see him from far away, it looks good. So, not all the time. Sometimes it's really good, but there's a lot of times where it looks like the stunt double of the thing. No, it was still poking out there like that. Okay. The BG broom brush. I don't use these broom brushes much. Well, thanks so much. I have lost weight, yes. See, I'm looking for one in particular, not nudge. I'm doing the same sculpt study. It feels weird when they don't mention that it's a study. Yeah, or that it was from you or something like that. Let's try this. Broom toss. That's right. Okay, I think it's lengthen that I like. BG, is it L? Yeah, broom hair long. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Okay, yep, Facebook and Instagram are both down right now. I don't know what happened. I wonder if logical. Yeah, it does. Okay. Was that you? Yeah, and thank you for that. And honestly, I do not mind people doing that. I don't. But sometimes they'll like put it in their portfolio and say it has nothing to do with where they got it from, and that's just yeah, that's when I have a problem with it. I think ZBrush for creating hair is the quality, like, can it be used for final output? I mean, yeah, like final, like how, like what's it depends on your end product, your end goal. But this is a little too crazy for me. I feel like I'm better off just laying out the hairs one by one, like I started to in the first place. I think I'm going to go back to that. But I wanted to show you how you can use fiber mesh for creating hair like this as well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna ditch this and go back to this. And there's absolutely no shame in ditching something that's not really working for you. I did an owl sculpt a while back, and some people have copied it and as best as they can and posted it on their art stations. Right? That is where the problem is. That's the problem is. You ever use curve alpha brushes? Yes, I do. What do you recommend to learn more stylized or realistic, or what does the industry? Ricardo, it doesn't matter. That's more. There's plenty of jobs on both sides, and I don't really. There's a lot of crossover as well, and to me, art is art, and realism just is another like focus, right? So you can do stylized, you can do realistic. It does, that part doesn't matter. It's where you want to do what you want to do, not don't do something because of the industry is, you know, has more jobs in it or not. That's my advice. I would be like, follow your heart, follow your passion, because that will make you a better artist if you follow what you want to do. If you're into realism, and some of my students, they have come to my course wanting to learn the stylized stuff, and then they start, and that kind of gives them an excuse to dabble in the realism stuff, and they start to, and they end up liking it, and they end up going there. So, and again, no problem with that whatsoever. You just need to follow your heart, follow your passion. Mentor the other day said you cannot be a good stylized artist if you're not good with realistic sculpting. Really? Maybe he was talking about knowing anatomy, like realistic anatomy, so you can break the rules. I agree with that, but I'm not a realistic sculptor, and I've been doing it for 23 years and getting paid well to do it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Thanks, Cricket. There you go. There's some advice. Yeah, Jimmy's an amazing sculptor. So is Ashley. You should check them both out. Ashley's another streamer on here. You should, if you want to check out her streams, she streams on Wednesdays. And Ian is also another sculptor on here. He streams on Sundays when he's not sick. Get better, Ian. I was too caught up in my fiber mesh to give you guys a shout out. But and Jimmy's just he's an amazing I shouldn't say Justa. Jimmy is an amazing stylized sculptor. So Jimmy and Ashley, if you guys are here, would you agree with that, Mentor? Would you say you have to be a stylized or you have to be a realistic sculptor before you can do stylized stuff? To me, realistic is just a matter of it takes more time to do, and most of it is in the topical texture work. So you're doing realistic textures, and you're also most likely going to be using Marmoset toolbag. Sorry, what's the cloth one? Marvelous Designer, to make the clothing for the character, and more realistic proportions. Whether you're doing realistic proportions or stylized proportions, the what am I trying to say? The workflow is the same. You start with a block out, you block it out, and the workflow is the same. It only branches when you start to add clothing, textures, details, that kind of stuff. Your mentor says the opposite. but both require knowledge of anatomy. Hey, Kev. Yep. Doing great. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm gonna do some short ones, long ones, some in between. Kind of move these around. Yeah, everybody has their own opinion. And everybody has their own opinion within stylized, within realistic, within whatever too. So if you're gonna create a character from a potato, yeah. If you're starting out, aligning with real world proportions is best. I don't know. You need to base your growth on realism. You don't need to be able to sculpt realistic humans in order to sculpt cartoon humans. But both ventures requires knowledge of real world functions. That is absolutely 100% correct. Yeah, like so for example, let's let's just talk about a skull, for example, right? And this is all talking about anatomy, meaning like the skull, how the muscles work, all that kind of stuff. If you think about the skull and how the skull works, how the jaw connects, how it bends, how it closes, all of that stuff you do need to base in reality, or else your character is going to look broken. And some people will even take it beyond and break it on purpose. But if your knowledge is based in reality, then you know what rules there are to break, and you can break them. Also, it helps you dissect what you're looking at better, right? When you're looking at a concept art and you're trying to pull out what the concept artist was thinking when he was creating this character, then you can start to say, oh, I can see the skull in that head, how it would function, where the orbits of the eyes sit, where the jaw connects, and all that kind of stuff. So in that respect, that's what yes, you should base your knowledge. You need to get that in your brain. And like proportions, meaning how long an arm should be, how long a leg should be, that kind of stuff. But to make a realistic human to start with is not necessary. In fact, I have my students start by making a Saturday morning cartoon character. That's nowhere near a human. And the reason why I have them start there is because A, I want them to have a quick win, so they're having fun, they're making fun cartoon characters, and they're not paying attention to anatomy very much. You know, I want them to get going on the tech and learn ZBrush technically first, then get comfortable with the tools, and then the next one I start talking about stylized anatomy. So each module builds upon the last, and that's the way I like to teach, because I don't want students to just sit and just spin in a struggle, right? That's no fun. That's no fun for anybody. So it's already in, it's part of 2.0. So 2.0 is coming out very, very soon. And it's already available. If you go into the forum, and Neil just posted a bunch of links to them, and you go to the Q&A section, you'll find links. So that's where I would find those. But it's coming out very soon. You'll have access to all of them. Irrelevant to your stream, but when you subdivide a mesh for high poly, it shrinks your mesh. With this, UVs on your low poly and baking sometimes gives a bad result. Is it a common thing? How can I correct it? It is a common thing, and it's just part of how ZBrush works. And what I would do is, I just discovered Ryan's tools recently. Ryan is a brand new streamer here on the Pixologic live streams, and he has these tools called Ryan's tools, and he has a specific function to stop that from happening. So if you go grab his tools, I think they're free. Neil will probably post a link on here. So I would go. There you go. Thank you, Neil. He has a free version and a pro version. If you can afford it, please. It's like hardly any money at all for what you get. But get the pro version, support what he does, so he can keep coming out with new tools. Oh, and I forgot to ask a question. Somebody was asking if you can use the hair in animation production. Sorry, I forgot about that question. You can, in two different ways. There are ways to make hair cards with fiber mesh that you can use in video games, but it's a technical journey you have to kind of go through. And then the second thing you can do is you can use the curves from the fiber mesh that's generated to bring over to a program like Maya, and then hook up like XGen 2 and use those curves for it. But coming straight out of ZBrush going into animation, it's not possible. What's the name of that function? I can't remember. It's like subdivide or something. He's got a whole bunch of YouTube videos that goes through every single update that he's done, and it's in one of those. Okay. Looking strange. I kind of want to color it and then get some color in here so it's not such a kind of a harsh change. Clean back and forth. And sorry I'm taking so long on this guy today. You guys are asking a lot of good questions, so I'm spending some time talking a lot. It's been an hour and I've made like a few hairs. Sorry about that. Smart subdiv. Thanks, Neil. There you go. Smart subdiv. Neil has all the answers. Oops, why did I do that? I need to push. I don't have the buttons down yet on this thing. I'll make some small ones. Thanks, Mark. Tom Brady's. I don't understand that reference. Sorry. Gotcha. Yeah, I know what goat means. I didn't know Tom Brady was the GOAT. I don't know who that is. If it's probably sports, right? I'm not a sports guy. I don't have football. All right. Yep. I'll come back through and edit all these so they don't look so similar. Trying to get them copied. I don't know why they're not copying across the center. We're going to fix that right now. Mirror weld. And then I'll be able to copy a bunch of these. Do you adopt Twitch streamer? I would like to work under your mentorship. No, but I have a mentorship program coming up. I'm calling it my acceleration program, and it's going to be a new product that's different from my course. But if you don't already have my course, I'm going to offer like a bundle so you can get both. And yeah, it's called the Accelerator Program. And basically how it works is it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long, long time, because I've been thinking about if I were a student just starting out, what would I want the most? Right? What would be the best thing to help out my growth the best? And to me, no, it's not included in my course. It's a separate thing. But the course, I want the course to be included with it if you buy it. It's more expensive because I'm going to be bringing in other coaches and things like that. So basically, what I wanted was I want access to professionals, and I want access to basically awesome feedback. Right? So access to a few coaching calls a week, so you can get feedback on your stuff at least a few times a week, and when you need it. So it's there when you need it, and you have access to the coaches anytime you need it. So that's what it is. Yes, it is predetermined. I can't offer lifetime access because I'm hiring other coaches. So it's going to be for a year access. And then, you know, if you still need more time, you can pay for another year or whatever. You know, Santiago, I have actually been thinking a lot about, oh, my advice battery is low. Dang it. What time we got? Eesh. Okay, well, what am I going to do here? I can't see my chat otherwise. Well, you know what? I can do this. I can't. Hold on a second. I have a dilemma. What can I do here? Okay, this is what I can do. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, these work. I got cables going all over the place. Okay, sweet. Now we're charging. All right. So anyway, the acceleration program, I also think another really cool bonus is the networking. So not only networking with other accelerator program students, but also having a private group that only acceleration students are in, because it's a bigger investment than the regular course, and so you'll be in there with other students that have also made the bigger investment, so they're more, you know, willing to put in the work and stuff like that. And then the networking with the, I'm bringing in some coaches that are at the top of their game right now, like lead character artists at various studios that they know what, you know, they're awesome. So it's really exciting for me. I can't wait. And think about, like, I just picture them at their place at their studio, and people come up to them and ask them, they say, hey, do you know of any 3D character artists that we could hire? And they'll be like, you know what? I actually do. You know, so it's a really nice way to meet and get to know up and coming 3D character artists and hone them. And that's what I would want. If I was just starting out today, I would want something like that. I'm tired of the big box schools just taking people's money for, like, costing $30,000 plus, and you get nothing at the end. It just, I gotta fix that. Yep, stylized focus. I mean, yeah, because that's what I do. That's my niche. That's my thing. That's my lane. Yep, 2.0 is coming out. Did somebody ask about it? The current course have 2.0 version in it? Yes. Yes, it's coming very, very soon. Very, very soon. You'll be able to find everything. More streamlined just means currently everything right now resides in one product. So you click on, when you go to your library, you click on one product and everything is there. It's a long list of stuff. It's like 3.5, 4 years of content in one giant list. It is organized, but it's kind of all over the place and it drives me crazy. So what I've done with Neil's help and is I've organized it into separate products. So when you go to your library, you see all the different pieces, and then you can go into there and then it's laid out just way better and shorter, more easily digestible, and it's prettier, that kind of stuff. McBubbles. Yeah. I'd probably be like the left foot or something. Here. Pull these ones out forward. Yeah, so if you end up buying the course right now, that's what you see is 1.5. And the only thing that I'm sad that I'm going to lose, and that's what happened when I switched over to 1.5, was it tracks your progress. And so when you make a new product, it doesn't transfer that progress with it. And it also loses some of the comments. You'll be a toe. But you'll be the best toe ever. Ashley would be the head. No. What would you be, Ashley, if you were Voltron? Okay, let's see. I'm going to switch over to this. I don't know if she's still here. She probably bailed. So, you know, this, the elastic brush is really good for manipulating hairs. Because, as you can see, it affects further up the fall off of the hair. Hey, what's up, Simon? Thanks so much. I appreciate it. But it's a little too far. I don't want it to affect the whole thing. Using chlorophyll, veggies, spinach. Sounds good. Needs to bend up and out. I talked about it earlier in the stream, but I went whole food plant-based. If you're wanting more information, I would look up Dr. McDougall's starch solution. Or The Pleasure Trap by Dr. Goldhammer. The Starch Solution, or The Pleasure Trap. Those are the two books. It'll change your life. Yep. It takes you about a week to get over your cravings, especially salt, oil, and sugar. Those are the worst, but because those are like a drug, right? So once you get past those, then it's easy. It's easy. And then you want to make sure you're getting your starches. That's why it's called the starch solution. Yeah, starch solution, because you don't want to feel hungry, because then you're going to binge. You don't want to binge because you're going to get fat. So starch solution, that means potatoes, rice, beans, corn, grains, that kind of stuff. That's your starches. That's what's going to keep you full. That's what's going to keep you not looking for your cravings. And it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's this is the way, like keto is very, very, very difficult to keep up, because you're hungry, and it's just not good for you, and it's not sustainable. Whereas I could eat this way for the rest of my life, and I'm probably going to. Overlap some of these things. Geez, somebody's garbage truck outside. I don't know. Keto, just look it up in Google, you'll see it's like it's the opposite of whole food plant-based. Basically eating all the things horrible for you. And it mimics fasting, kind of. The reason you go into ketosis is because it mimics fasting. I'm by no means a doctor, and so I'm just telling you my experience. I'm not a nutritionist. I'd watch Game Changers, Forks Over Knives. Those documentaries are fantastic. Hey, what's up, Jace? Oh, goodness. I want to mirror this, but I just made it so it's not symmetrical. I want to remove this one. I just want to split it off. Its own little guy. Are you taking off, Ian? All right, man. Thanks for hanging out, dude. What did it say? Hidden. What? Oh, I gotta put hidden not. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, I just need to fill out the rest here. It's taking me 2 hours just to do the hair on this guy around his neck. All right. Well, good questions, guys. Keep them coming. All right, let's just finish this up. This is noggin keeps getting in the way, or is, there we go. I just dropped off. My connection is very, very spotty. So if I end up bailing, I'm sorry. It's the connection. Nope, I just stretched out a sphere. And duplicated it like this. And then I'll merge them all together and just kind of, I mean, you can do this with like the snake hook brush or whatever, but this is just more control. And so this is what he's looking like. So right now, since it's a different color, it's looking a lot like a necklace or something like that. But when I get it all merged together in the same color, then I think it'll look a lot better. In fact, let's just do, let's take a moment and do some coloring just to kind of, I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. And let's see, what color should this guy be? Maybe a blue? Maybe a blue. Try a blue. Like this. No. Like a gray blue. No, it's too gray. Let's go lighter and bluer. Yeah, maybe like that. So he kind of looks great because he's like an Eeyore, right? He's like sad. String of green beans. Totally. All right, let's go. Get his body. And then I do want a separation in color between these two. And that will help a lot. Be like that. I might even keep it that dark blue. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because I don't know if you saw what I just did there, but when you select different subtools, the subtools that are not selected go a slightly darker color. And that's just to kind of help you know what subtool is currently activated until you fill it with a color. Once it's full of a vertex color, then that effect no longer happens. But when it's slightly darker, that shade darker, you can actually eyedrop that darker color from it. So when I eyedrop this color, see, I'll do it again. So this is the color I have now, right here. And you can see that everything that I don't currently have filled with a vertex color is darker. Okay, now if I grab this, you'll see I grabbed that color, but now everything's even a shade darker. So anyway, I want to grab these things, like this one, and fill it. So that's how you can get a nice, like a darker shade of the same color. Come on, Phil, what are you doing? Come on, Phil, do the thing. Just, why isn't it filling with color? Do I have it masked or something? I do like these darker too. Cool. Okay, so RGB is high. Let me make sure. Sometimes it doesn't want to work. fill this. See, it's not filling with that color. Why? I better save this. When it starts doing weird stuff, that's a good time to save. Focus Pro not on. Be on. Okay. Why? Is the stream still going okay? Can you guys still hear me? Acting weird. Okay. For some reason, this one single subtool does not want to take color. I was able to fill everything else, but just the one with that's Sculptris Pro. This guy, I'm going to duplicate it. See if we can get it to take color. On. Okay, see if I change color, it just does not. Hey, is it full now? There it goes. Okay, it's doing it now. Weird. This guy's corrupt. We'll delete the old one. It's not the material comics, it's the vertex color. And filling with flat material only resets the material, not the color. I'm looking weak, really? I'm thin, I'm not weak. I've lost a lot of weight, but I'm anything but weak. I feel like I'm 20 years old again. Browse. There we go. Oh my gosh. This is turning dark again. Why? I don't understand. I don't understand why this is doing this. See how those hairs, once I get it all merged together, it'll be way better. You avoid, yes, no animal products, no dairy whatsoever, and then no salt, oil, sugar. That's it. So plenty. You can eat as much as you want of veggies, fruit, nuts, seeds, legumes, fungus, whatever you want. Plant-based, whole food, plant-based, and the no processed stuff. Just whole food. Just eat like a chimp. Chimp. Oh, I think I know why. Got a mask on it. Still, got a mask on it, and it keeps filling this. No salted nuts. No D's nuts. Better. Okay, that is working. Why? Oh, you know, because I'm showing probably my block out under that guy. Oh, it's that guy. Okay. Oh, I'm a dummy. All right. So I have this other one clear down here. I need to delete. But I was seeing both of them at the same time. Oh gosh, there. That's why. I was seeing two subtools of the same type overlapping each other. When I would fill one, does that make sense? It wouldn't take on the color, and every time I'd switch color. Anyway, oh gosh. Okay. Yes. Oh, Nightbot just reminded me that ZBrush Summit is coming very soon. So super excited for that. It's all going to be online again this year. Yeah, cheese is hard to give up, man. It's not for everybody. I'm just telling you what I did. Yeah, like you just do whatever you want. People were asking what I did, and that's what I did. And that's what I'm doing. And I like it. Yeah, but at least you're not broadcasting it. Oh, funny. All right. I'm gonna make these two asymmetrical. And I also want to put some gradation on. It does take a lot of willpower, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. Thomas in the house. How's it going, man? Thomas. Thomas is another streamer. He actually streams tonight. He makes the best ZBrush jewelry you've ever seen. I'm doing well, my friend. How are you? Yeah, we've had a lot of streamers stop by today. That's awesome. How have you been? What have you been up to? I'm sad I'm not going to be able to see you at the ZBrush Summit this year. Wonderful is good. Yeah, man, I need my ZBrush Summit fix, and I've missed it, and I'm going to miss it for another year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, next year we'll be back. Like my my yearly escape and vacation, and yeah, good. Everybody should experience it at least once live. It's my little goat boy. What do you think? My tired goat. Yeah, it's at the Pixologic headquarters, which is at Noman School in Hollywood every year. So they've talked about moving it, still keeping it in California, but moving it into a larger venue because it's kind of outgrown itself a bit. You feel like that? Yeah, I think we all do, right? Oh man, I'm sorry. It's interesting how some people get allergies in the spring and some are fall. And some are both. Either the dust or the pollen or the whatever. Have you tried some handmade sculpting style in ZBrush, like kind of what Andrea Blush does with clay? I've not really. That's not really my style, but honestly, I love Andrea's stuff. It's just incredible. I've met him a few times. He actually recognizes my face when I see him. It's like, you have a recognizable face. Pretty funny. Yeah, his stuff is extraordinary. He does like very, very chunky clay, like it just looks handmade. But he does stylized characters. Like one of my favorites he's ever done is the Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood, Disney's Robin Hood, and it's phenomenal. Love it. So I mean I would like to dabble with it, but it's just kind of not my bag. I like to keep things clean. So yeah, that's what this is what I do. This is my lane. Right. I'm gonna make his work on his legs a little bit. Like they're too long. So Tomas, I want to show you this trick that Ronnie, I don't know if you met Ronnie. He was at the ZBrush Summit a couple times, and he just showed me this the other day, and I didn't even know you could do this. But you know how sometimes you just want a nice gradation in your mask, right? Of course, you can do the transpose line, you can drag down your appendages and stuff, but or you can use Ryan's tools. He actually has an image-based mask tool, which gives you a gradation, which is cool because they have more control. But you can do something as simple as this. Just zoom out really far. Well, let me show you what it looks like first before I do this. So if I didn't zoom out and I wanted to mask, I'm essentially trying to make these legs shorter. So I want a nice gradient mask right here so I can shrink these legs up. And if I try and make a mask, it looks like this. It's all tight, and even though the resolution is low, it's not the best, right? So zoom way out. You can barely see it. And then mask those legs. It's kind of hard to see. Now when I zoom back in, oh, it didn't work. Come on. Now that I'm trying to show it off, it doesn't work. Why? Oh, is it because of the brush I'm on? The brush I'm on. This usually works like dynamite. No, now it's not working. Damn it. Why? Okay, anyway, let's try that. And you guys try that later. I don't know why it's not working all of a sudden. I must have done something to stop it from working. Anyway, I'm just going to blur it like this. Yeah, zooming out makes it great because the gradient is based off of the scene size, like the overall ZBrush scene size. and so it'll give you a gradient. But this is what I usually do, is I just make a mask and then I blur it. Maybe it's because it's so low resolution it doesn't work, but it works really great with, especially with Dynamesh, because Dynamesh is so high resolution, or like Sculptris Pro is so high resolution, it's really hard to get a nice gradient. So maybe that's part of the reason. But if you have a really dense mesh and you zoom way out and do it, you get a really nice gradient. So, oh, shoot. Okay, I'm just going to speed up. I want to make him a little stumpy boy. Scale this dead. I know, there's always something hidden, some little secret. Import a ZPR, ZTools, so it doesn't throw everything away and start from a new ZPR. Yeah, yep. So this is the way I work, Tomas, is I have a base starting file, as you know, everybody knows by now. I have a base project. That's my ruler file. That's just my ruler and a starting sphere in there. So every time I open up ZBrush, I start with that project. And what that project is, you know, projects save all your settings, right? They save your ZBrush, or your brush intensity, your slider settings, all of that stuff. So everything that doesn't save with, like, by doing a save config or store config, there's a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't save. And so if I want to save extra stuff, you can save it in a project. So my brain for some reason came up with, hey, what if I store all that in a start project, and then I start with that every single time. And that start project is it's very specific. I have like here, I'll just do it, I'll show you. So let me just save this guy as go-to. Okay, so pretend I just open up ZBrush again, and then I start with this project, and here it is. Comes in. It doesn't get rid of your like your textures and things like that, or your reference. But now I just have this, no tools loaded, so it clears everything out. And now what I can do is just load the tool kind of up into this project. It doesn't put it in the same tool, but it loads it up into ZBrush with all of my saved project settings and the same scene size. So if I go load tool, and I do go to, there he is. This is the size of him as compared to my scene. Now this scene is super specific, and I can actually see you setting up a project for yourself, Tomas, with like your jewelry stuff. You know, your jewelry, you could do a setup just like this, but it's all set to the size and scale that you like to work in, so you're not having to use Scale Master or whatever you have to use every single time to adjust to be able to print it. It's like it's set, so then as long as you work from that file, you're good to go, right? So this is set in each of these squares represents a centimeter. So if I go back to this grid, and I'm not a fan of the grids. You know how by default they snap to the sides, the edges of your objects? I come from the Maya world where you have a grid in the center of your workspace, not to the edges. So I could never tell where the floor was. The floor just keeps moving as the feet of your character keep moving, and I don't know where the 0, 0 is. So if I push home, I don't know where home is. But if I have my grids all set to 0, 0, then I know exactly where my home, my starting position is. And then each of these squares is a centimeter. And then you brought in a ZTL. Yes. ZTL. So I don't work in Z projects. They get too big, they save all the history, and they save all your Z tools, and they just get monstrous and take a ton of space on your hard drive. So I usually work in Z tools because they're light, they're clean, they're small, And then I just start with a Z project and then load Z tools into that every single time I work. So yeah, actually still here. So does that make sense? And then what's cool about this, since the scene is already set to measurements, if I turn on the gizmo and I click on this, turn off the gizmo, and I just have the transpose line, well, you can see that the transpose line is already set up to millimeters. So this unit right here, this is actually 70 millimeters. And I use this for 3D printing all the time. So if you look at this ruler is 200 millimeters tall, but I'm gonna just go snap up to some arbitrary number. So it should be 140 millimeters. If you look over here, these units, 139 units. So I know that it's set up to be millimeters. So it's 140 millimeters. And then if I zoom in on my transpose line, you can see each of these orange little tick marks is set up to the ruler. They're millimeters. See, tick, 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 tick. I work with Joseph Truss to come up with this this file to be able to set up and measure, so you can see all these ticks. Because you have to have a specific thickness when you do your 3D printing, when you do manufacturing for toys, and you have to measure stuff all the time to make sure like that sword is thick enough, or the whatever it is thick enough, or your hollowed out skin after you've hollowed out your character. You're going to want to make sure that's thick enough. And so this is a real world ruler, and you can like hold a real world ruler in your hand and compare it to this one and say, oh, this is, you can kind of visualize how big your character is going to be in the real world, and you can set it up so you're not just guessing. I just hate the whole guessing part, so since when did ruler start coming? Dude, it's always, I work in centimeters and millimeters. That's what I work in. So that's because I worked for Disney for 10 years, and we worked on Disney Infinity, and it was all in millimeters, manufacturing, all of that. So it's just a tighter, and it's divisible by 10, you guys know. So if you want this ruler file, you can go grab it for free over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. Also, I give away my brushes and my user interface, so you can go grab that. So anyway, that's kind of a rundown how this ruler works. And that way I don't really use the scale plugin much at all, because it's already set up. So as long as and you can't scale your ruler, never touch the ruler, just scale your objects to the ruler, never scale the ruler. The ruler is like gold, don't touch it. Yeah, and also, since it's in metric, I use this for game characters as well. And since it's metric and divisible by 10, you can also use this as a metric ruler. So as you can see, you can change these numbers into centimeters. The little ticks act as centimeters, and the big numbers can act as meters. So an average female height, 182 centimeters. I put that line right here, so you can kind of know in the game world in meters how tall a character would be. And so if you export this out of ZBrush over to Maya, it should be the right height, if that makes sense. So and then one last thing is, when you're 3D printing, as long as your character is smaller or shorter than this ruler, you can export your scene out as an STL for printers. And as long as everything's smaller than the ruler, everything will be the correct size relative to that ruler. And the ruler is a known size. So instead of like dragging out the transpose line and trying to figure out what height you want your character and typing that number into the scale master, you just type in 200 millimeters, because you know that the known size is the ruler. It's 200 millimeters, you know that for sure. And so everything relative to that will print at the correct size to a micro detail. Like absolutely, it will fit, it will match, it will, yeah, it's it's and I came up with this ruler system when I was working at Disney because we were super frustrated. We actually saw Gentle Giant using a ruler kind of like this, and it just kind of sparked that idea like, hey, we can just use one ruler to rule them all. No, one ruler as a known size and everything relative to that, and we can just export it. So anyway, there's my ruler rundown. And if you want it, go grab it. Free. Anyway, does that help you out? I don't know. I hope that gets you some ideas churning, Tomas, for making. Maybe you can grab my ruler file and make your own version of it to make rings and jewelry and stuff from, and make it your size, your scale, the thing you want to do, you know? So anyway, you have it. Of course you do. But a lot of people don't know that the transpose line is set up in millimeter ticks. So as a way to measure things. I constantly, well, once in a while I'll bring that back up so people go, oh yeah, I remember that. You know. So anyway, yeah, it's about time to wrap this up. I just wanted to do, let's see, shorten these legs. I need to give him some double toes and some, I'll be painting them all later. But I was going to do some gradients too on this. And I think they've adjusted the RGB intensity to act a bit differently. There we go. I just want to lighten his head up a little bit. Down his snout. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Even more precision. And then some people are like, well, what if the thing you want to print is taller than 200 millimeters? And it's really easy to do. All you do is duplicate the ruler and stack it on top of each other, and then export your scene out as 400 millimeters. So that's how you get a bigger space to work in. We had to do that with the collector's edition with that big, there's a big like a monster from Thor kind of hanging out, and we had to print him out a lot larger than the rest of the characters. I make tiny things, tiny gorgeous things. Let's see, use this chisel. Wanted to make a little, oh, it's got color on it, does it? Yes. None of that. Yeah, so if you, Thomas, or Hired Gun, if you go to markcartoonart.blogspot.com, that's exactly his art style. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually worked on that stuff, because it's so similar. It's really, really good. I set up cubes that are printed, the printing space of the different printer we use. Oh yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, that's a good way to go. Like the printer volume size. Oh, do you have several different cubes, you said? Represent whatever printer you're going to print it on. Have you ever printed in any of those metals? Like those plastic-based metals? Or do you just do like lost wax? Or I should hop on your stream and ask you questions. Seems like I'm always like doing something at night, so I'm never able to hop on. What time do you go live tonight, Thomas? So people can hop on your stream and check out your your amazingness. 8 p.m. Pacific time. Too rough for most jewelry. Yeah, I kind of figured. Mostly crits. Yeah, I see that. I just wondered how that's going. I usually do crits for my students a lot, so I don't usually do them during my stream. I use these streams as an excuse to do personal art. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't get anything done. But it's not working. Okay. No, it's great. It's great. It's awesome of you to do that. I use Shapeways. Yeah. I'm not what's your favorite printer, Tomas? And is it Tomas or Thomas? Like you can tell me by typing. Oh, you're gonna move back to LA. Ah, nice. SolidScape is the best resolution and castability. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of that printer. I'll have to check it out. But all right, I think I'm gonna wrap this up for today. And here's a good shot of how far we got. And I'll be merging these hairs in and continuing to finesse this out. But all right, man, do it. Have a good one, you guys. Thanks for joining me again. It's been great. Sorry, this guy's been a little slow, but oh yeah, the new Mars and Anycubic. Yep. I have the Anycubic Photon, but I haven't printed anything on it yet because I bought a Form 3 printer and I've just been loving the heck out of that thing. So my Anycubic, I might I don't know, I might sell it or something. So all right, you guys, have a wonderful day and happy sculpting. Hope this inspires you. Keep going, and we'll see you next Monday. All right, I don't know if I might do a Halloween special next Monday or something like that. So all right, you guys, take care. And as always, you can get this stuff, my interface, my brushes, my ruler for free over on my website. And while you're there, check out my course. Yeah, love to see you in there. All right, take care, guys. Thank you, Neil. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everybody. And thanks for stopping by. We'll see you. Bye.